Hello, welcome to a little plant update video. This is already an absolute disaster because I've knocked my Monstera seedlings on the floor, but it's fine. We'll post. But it's fine. We'll carry on. It's fine. First plant I want to talk about is this Rhaphidophora decursiva. Mine was wild, really, and I tried to put it on a moss pole and it just wasn't that bothered. Apart from weirdly this bit along the top that it grew like across the top of the moss pole. Yeah, it just wasn't really that bothered about it. And then I was watching a video by Claire from the Jungle Haven and she mentioned in passing that they were perhaps crawlers. I don't think she said definitively, I think she was just said like somebody said that they were. And I was like, interesting. Mine did really seem to like going across the top of the moss pole for the ½ inch that it did that for. So I thought I'll chop it back, pop it in this long pot and we'll see how it does. And it's done really well. Like if you look at all these sprouts that it's got, it seems to be really happy. It isn't crawling, I wouldn't say. Now it's a bit early to tell, but it seems to just be doing its own thing. But usually by this point, some of the growth points will have stopped growing, but every single one of them seems to be. And it might just be that I cut so much off, it's got enough of a root system to sustain this many. I took a load of cuttings. I mean, it was a big plant and I just like laid them on the top of the soil, but that wasn't happening. I don't water enough for the soil to stay damp enough to root cuttings on the top. So I took all those out, cut it right back to this, and now they are in water. I'm going to put it back and I'm going to attempt to not stand on my Monstera seedlings again. So these are the cuttings that I took. There's quite a few. There's actually there's too many. I don't know what I'm going to do with these. This is growing underwater. That's going to have to stop at some point. But yeah, they're all doing. I mean, this one's got a growth point and a root coming. The fact they're from the same side would suggest it's not a crawler, but I don't know. God, that's a lot of roots. I'm going to do the Monstera seedlings next because I want to take them back downstairs where no one can stand on them. I had a plan to see how big I could grow my Monstera in a year, and then I was like, do you know what? Get some seeds. Let's see how big we can get seeds in a year. I got them from a garden centre. I want to say like Chiltern. I'll link it below. They were down as like Torii seeds. I don't know if that's a real thing, but they were Monstera seeds. If you buy them from like eBay, there's a lot of people out there to scam you, so buy them from somewhere with some recourse for dealing with them. So I planted these in March. It's now April. It's taken maybe a month for them to get this big, and they're just in regular houseplant soil with perlite. It's about a 50-50 mix. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decent size ones, and then there's 1, 2 little ones, and there is one somewhere. It's a seed that I found that has, there's one seed that's got a root and no sprout, and one that's got a sprout and no root, so who knows. Please don't ask me what I'm going to do with, if they all germinate, 12 Monstera. I don't know. I thought I'd be bored of them by now. But they are very cute. I have been keeping them in this propagator and they are right in my south-facing window, but they've obviously got a lid on so it's not like totally direct light, but they do get nice and warm and that really helps with germinating the seeds. This one I trapped in the propagator, like it's bent at the top, but it seems to be okay. So I would say the seeds are like medium hardy. And I'm now going to put them back downstairs where they are safe. This is my new baby plant nursery. So I got these plants and they are, one of them is like $4.99. This one, he's very pretty. He looks like a regular green plant. This is a philodendron Jerry Horn. I'll put a picture if I can find one of what they look like when they're big. I don't know if I'll ever make it that big. Who knows? I'm not very good at sizing up plants. This next one was $24.99, which seems extortionate for such a tiny plant. But the one only slightly bigger with like one more leaf was £75. This is a Monstera Burley Marks Flame. Again, I'll put a picture of what it looks like when it's big. I wouldn't normally spend that much on such a small plant. One, because the tiny baby plants, their roots are often, they're usually like fresh from tissue culture. The roots aren't particularly established. If you don't keep them consistently damp, they just die. And I'm not very good at being consistent with my plant care. Everything is covered in soil. But I thought if I get this, it was only $19.99. I'll be able to grow them up. It keeps the moisture in, so they stay like damp, but they're not wet. But also it keeps the thrips out. So I was like, absolute double whammy. And so far it's doing really well. Well done, guys. Next plant is my orchid. I know, I can't stop showing people. Look at the, if all these open, it's going to look so good, and they have started. Somebody asked me for a video on orchid care, and I was like, I don't really know enough about them. And I was like, well, I've got this, I've got it to do this. So, and my care routine is minimal at best. I'll give you a bit of water. I literally just do that, leave it for like 20 minutes, and then pour it out. The leaves aren't looking great. They're looking really wrinkly, like, and dehydrated. But I don't know if it's because it's flower, like because it's got all this. I don't really know. Incredibly proud of this. Next up we have my Philodendron verrucosum. I think this is the trickiest houseplant that's very widely available, in terms of it seeming like it's fine and then not being, and by the time it isn't fine, it's too late. Mine got thrips, and they really, really, really love thrips, I suppose, because they will not shift them. I literally cut mine right back. It was just a stem all over winter. And now it's got a leaf there. It's got a big leaf. It's got a little leaf. And then it's got a little leaf, and then I think this is going to be a decent sized leaf. So yeah, doing well. I'm not quite sure why it's growing upside down. I've not put it on the pole since, like, it's been on the pole all winter. The only difference was it had a stem up to about here, and then when I was doing my prop box, I took cuttings because it started with a new leaf up here, and I was like, not fussed about that. I cut it back, and the cuttings haven't done anything because they are a nightmare to propagate. But this is, if it wants to grow its leaves upside down, who am I to judge? I also got these candlesticks from H&M. I love them. This is my next impressive fellow. This is a Hoya kerrii. I like to show this early in the season because this has the same trick as a Thai constellation, in that in like March, it'll be like, right, this is the year that I grow. And it goes grow, 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 grow. Like, these are new leaves that it's only just grown. And I think these ones are new as well. And then you're sort of like, oh, great. Perfect, off you go. And then that's it for the rest of the season. And I don't know why. It's also producing latex along the side of the leaves. I've never seen it do that before. I'm going to assume it's fine. Me and this plant have been through some stuff. It keeps getting thrips, but then the thrips don't like it because the leaves are too thick. But I think it gets frightened and then stops growing, and yeah, we'll see how you do this year. So this was doing really well. I know, I'm really sorry, it's really hard to see because it's glass and it's a camera and it's a pain. This is doing really well. The begonia especially is doing really well. The Vitonia also doing really well, and the whatever the pink thing was called. The only thing I have to do is go in and get the, if there's anything dead, I just go in and get it because it gets rotten quite quickly. But yeah, the ferns, there's little fiddleheads at the bottom. And even the Aglaonema tricolour, which I literally put in there because I didn't know what else to do, it's grown a new leaf. Interestingly, it's not camouflage. It's just seems to be green with like a couple of spots of white on it. But I'm not really that fussed about that. Oh, it seems like the top's rotting. Yeah, the top's rotten. That's okay, because that wasn't where the growth point was. The growth point was coming from the bottom. The obliqua is doing really, really well. It's got a new leaf, this one here. The new leaves, I love. The thing, I didn't expect to love the obliqua so much. What I love about it is how sad the new leaves look, because they're full of holes. It can't lift itself up. And I don't know if it's because they're full of holes, but the new leaves are always, they're never like straight up like most new leaves. Like on this one, the new leaves pointing straight up. On the obliqua, they just collapse immediately, like they're expecting to have a bad time. And the last plant I want to talk about, now, this is one of those things where I don't really understand why they're so popular other than for aesthetic purposes. Now, this is a peace lily that I transferred to water purely because I wanted to, so I've got like, I'm going to do a video of how to keep peace lilies in water, starting from like having it in soil, do the whole process. I'm not really getting it. And I've seen loads on TikTok and they look really aesthetic. And to be fair, like the lily itself is doing fine. It hasn't flowered. My other one's flowering, but this one is smaller and it's just been repotted. I don't think it's the water. I don't think that's the reason it's not flowered. I think it's just that it's only just like, it's establishing itself. It's not interested in flowers. Maybe maybe later in the season. It's doing fine. Like you can see, the bigger piece is getting all these new roots It'll probably lose a lot of these old ones, although you can see there's like new growth on it. This one's doing very well considering it's literally working with this. What I really don't understand is how people get them looking so pretty. Mine is gross, and I cleaned it like 2 weeks ago, like took the whole thing out and cleaned it. And whilst it does look pretty, it's a lot of faff. So I do have it in like a nice little setup. It looks very cute with my little orchid. I'll show you my other orchid later. There's no mention of algae on TikTok, and this thing grows algae so quickly. Anything in a clear container will get algae, and you can't get rid of it because algae is much stronger than your plant's roots. Anything you put in there to kill algae will kill your plant's roots immediately. And as long as you've got water and light, algae will grow. Even with like, unless you have like crystal clear water with no nutrients in it, algae will grow, and it will grow more voraciously than your plant will. All you can really do is sort of keep on top of it. So when I finish this, I'm going to clean it out. I do think it's cute, but I don't think it's necessarily worth the hassle. And I genuinely don't understand why so many people are searching for keeping peace lilies in water when it's easier to keep them in soil. And for some reason, and I really don't know why, I have 3. I've got one in soil up there, I've got this one, and I've got one in leca. The one in leca loves its life, and it's probably the most neglected. If you read my newsletter, you will know that I went to IKEA. I had a week off like a week ago, and we went to IKEA. We actually went twice because we are fancy. And I got the cutest little cloche, and I have the cutest plant to go in it. It is very Beauty and the Beast. I love it so much. It was £15 from IKEA, and yeah. This is just a Tesco baby, and again, the leaves are not happy. It does make sense because some plants do flower if the leaves are looking bad, because then they can set seed and make a new one. But orchids, in my experience, don't do that. So I think it is happy. It just looks like shit. Like, it is growing a new leaf. And how cute are these little flowers? This was a supermarket job and like a discount, I am sad, please take me home for £2 little thing, and it is absolutely adorable. This was from Amazon. They're just like tea light holders, but it is just the cutest little thing if you'll all fit in. And again, like the other one, I just fill it with water. I don't fill it with water. I just put a bit of water in the bottom, put the lid back on, and then come back to it in 20 minutes. Oh God, that is a horrible noise. And then just tip it out, and it works really well. I usually do use fertiliser water purely because this year I'm like, right, I can't be bothered with the whole fertiliser schedule. We'll do high maintenance to be low maintenance, and we will just fertilise with every single watering. So that's what I'm doing, and it's doing fine. There are some people who don't get fertilised every time they water, like this fella. Purely because if I used fertiliser water every time I need to water this thing, I'd be forever making fertiliser water, because we water you weekly, probably more often than that, whereas for everybody else it's like every 2 weeks. So yeah, that's everything in this plant update. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.